Good morning. You're welcome to Good Morning Anambra, this week's edition. My name is Sijama Uche, and I hope you had a very good week or weekend. And now that we are beginning another week, thank you for joining us. And do remember that Good Morning Anambra comes to you every morning from Monday to Fridays. Do join us. For now, we have a newspaper review for you. Stand by. Okay, welcome again. Joining us this morning to look at what the papers are saying, Mr. Nwafo Simon Ezofoma. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Dan Ampra, and all our viewers all over the world.
Okay, and then Sir Jerry Obodo. He's also a public affairs analyst. Welcome, Sir Jerry.
Thank you for having me, this crew, and then may peace of Christ be with you all.
Okay, as usual, let's begin from the beginning, which is our ABS website. The first story this morning said 2 armed robbery suspects killed by security operatives at Okija Ihala Council area. Nteje community Uyi Council area bans youth-related activities. Anambra government to establish film village urges Amufbam to use music, films to promote Igbo cultural values. NDLEA nabs 8 suspects for attempting to import cocaine and then export tramadol. Finally from here, Rural Water Sanitation and Hygiene Department, Water Sanitation and Hygiene Committee take ODF campaign to Newid North Council area. These and many more are the stories making the round in our website, www.absradiotv.com. Okay, for some time now, we have been battling with insecurity in the state, especially as it regards kidnapping and armed robbery. And just yesterday, we had this breakthrough with some of the guys terrorizing Ihala area. Sir Jerry.
Yeah, it's a good and cheering news, that, we're getting these guys that does not want us to sleep with our 2 eyes closed. The governor, gave them window to, come and dialogue with him, have them rehabilitated, and give them, handwork so that they will come out from the bush and from their nefarious activities. But, they failed adamant to hit to that call. So, for that matter, the governor is taking the word to them. And the result is what we are saying.
Okay.
That amongst, others that has been killed, 2 of them are killed now. And there's no looking back until we get them out of the state or get them eliminated. So I commend the law enforcement agents, the governor of the state, to keeping on and keep getting to them, taking the word to them, not anti fighting, but counter fighting, taking it to them. So that they will be eliminated. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Zofoma, let's combine these 2 stories. In Teje community, Uyi Council area bans youth-related activities. Does it have to do with criminality too?
Yes, I wanted to comment on that, as well as even the film village or so that is being created.
Go
I
ahead.
think all these are ways of giving the youths a chance or an enabling environment not to engage in social vices. Because these youth-related activities, that is from where they enter into different cult organizations. And if it is not checked, youths can gather together for good purpose. But when they are engaging, like the other one that was trending, somebody said he had organized 1 million use or so for unknown purpose. Until when he was questioned, he's now denying certain things. So these are the reasons. That is the point. So what I'm saying is it's a welcome development. The youth ought to be checked because even in Igbo, when you fail to train the children and the youths, they will go the wrong way. So that is the point. So
Okay, getting the youth engaged. It does appear we have a lot of these vices coming from the youth now. Or where will you take it to? Is it one, maybe because of a lot of them are sitting at home, because of the ASU strike? Because I mean, that's this. They said the idle mind is a devil's workshop. Okay. So, and the other things that we need to do, like establishing these film villages to get the youth engaged. So what do you say about not getting them usefully engaged?
Exactly, that's the direction I was going. We have never had it so bad like this. I think the society, our leaders are to be blamed. But the only thing is the law will not excuse somebody because you are not engaged, that you engage in crime. Otherwise, our leaders are the culprits. They look at how can you imagine that students, youth are at home for going to 6 months now. So many of them said that they're engaging. The other day I heard maybe they are trying to ban Okada. I start to reason. I say, anybody thinking of such things in this present situation is not being reasonable. Because you can see that some degree holders, master degree holders, are engaging in Okada operation, in Keke operation, and so on and so forth. So when you ban all these things, some of them in the school, they don't have any hope of securing job when they come out. Some of them are at home now. So when they can secure such thing to engage in one thing or the other, not to involve themselves in criminal activities, then you start to ban it in the whole federation, not even in some restricted areas. So that is the point. The society and the leaders are the first culprits of this thing.
Okay. Let's move on because we'll have a lot of stories coming from the newspapers. The other story from the website is also talking about people exporting and importing drugs and a whole lot of things. But for now, I think we'll have to venture into the papers to get some of these stories out. Okay. The first paper this morning to look at is the Daily Sun. Daily Sun, and beside the name template of the Daily Sun, we have IPOB. Kanu's family rejoice over UN intervention. With a rider there, urge federal government to respect court order. Is it actually a court order or UN instruction? Okay, let's move on. And then PDP behind Kan's opposition to APC's same fate ticket. This one is coming from Afebua. This blame game has started again. Okay, but the banner headline there says, Nimet alas of heavy flooding in southwest Taraba and others. And down here I have this other story, Kaduna train abductors issue kidnap notice. Okay, let's look at the riders there. Threatening to abduct governors, government officials, other leaders. Outrage trails video of terrorists brutalizing kidnapped passengers. Why we are cautious in rescue efforts. This one is coming from the presidency. All these are the riders under the story. Kaduna train abductors issue kidnap notice to government officials. Fuel scarcity airline raised economy flight tickets to 75,000 naira. I didn't know how to say that one. Okay, NDLEA arrest 8 over Abuja, Lagos, Enugu airport cocaine bust. Vote buying, INEC tax NAS on speedy passage of electoral offences bill. Federal government colleges in Abuja shut abruptly over rising insecurity. Everywhere is shutting down. The airlines are shutting down. Schools are shutting down. Everywhere is being shut down because of insecurity. Okay. And Zenith Bank retains #1 position in Nigeria by Tier 1 capital. Muslim tickets not to undermine Christians. Fayemi is saying this, says it is based on political strategy. Okay. Renegotiated agreements implementation will end strike. Okay, talking about the strike, with a rider there, Obi backs Labour's planned protest, tells Buhari to personally handle standoff. Okay, all these are coming from the Daily Sun newspaper. Let's look at our next paper, which is the National Star, before we start talking. The National Star. Okay, the banner headline on the National Star says, terrorists threaten to kidnap Buhari El-Rufai. With a rider there, bandits torture abducted train passengers. Other stories coming from there, Tinubu's memory is failing, Atiku alleges. IPOB hails United Nations for reportedly indicting Nigeria, Kenya over Kano's ordeal. And then insecurity, Nigeria may break up in 2 years. Gani Adams warns. Nigeria may break up in 2 years. 2 years is 2025, very long time. Okay, 24. Planned labor strike, not illegal. This one is coming from Falana. Planned labor strike, not illegal. Falana tells federal government. And then what else do we have here? Ekiti Serap issues INEC over failure to prosecute vote buyers. Serap sues INEC over failure to prosecute vote buyers. Okay, let's get back to the Daily Sun and look at the stories there. The #1 story there is IPOB, Kano's family rejoice over UN intervention with a rider, urge federal government to respect court order. Sajeri Obodo.
Yeah. I also rejoice with that fallout from the UN statement. It's not a court order anyway. It's just a human rights department of United Nations organization that has looked critically and wholesomely on the matter before them, brought by the lawyer to Kano. How he was rendered from Kenya with Nigeria collabo and brought back to Nigeria. Does that observe due process? How he how he was denied all human rights to his right to read, right to have his family visit him, the way he was manhandled, tortured in their detention camp before they brought him back to Nigeria. Here in Nigeria, how he was denied bail. Here in Nigeria, how he was not allowed to change his dress. Here in Nigeria, how he has been incarcerated for this long. And here in Nigeria, where the case is frustrated.
The reasons why UN had to intervene.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's why I say they have looked at the case critically, brought before them by the lawyer to Kano.
Okay.
So, having articulated all these things, they now concluded that they should release him unconditionally
Okay.
because of all this gamut of failures which the federal government and the Kenyan government has committed for over him. So that they should release him to go and be with the family, and if need be, that he's there to appear to court if they still want to go on with the case. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Ezofoma, do you see Nigerian government, agreeing to this instruction from the United Nations to release Kanu?
Well, that will be, my opinion will be personal, and that will be, keep putting the horse before the cart. But the point is, following from how the government has been obeying or disobeying court orders or orders, just as we are discussing whether this is a court order. It's not purely a court, but it is an international protocol which they involve as a human rights signatory, as a UN signatory, who you opted to agree to abide by any resolution of the UN, just like AU and so on. So under international law, under international relations, when there is a binding agreement between countries, each country is supposed to obey every resolution reached. So Nigeria is ought to abide by the directive of the UN. But the point is, in reality, are they willing to abide? Because although I know that independent nations can decide, but that will also attract sanctions from the organization.
If they refuse to comply, is that going to be any form of
yes,
sanction coming from the UN?
has an option. They can decide to apply sanctions against the country.
What kind of sanction are we looking at here?
Economic sanctions. They can decide, just like Russia is being treated now, because they are opposed to the whole world. So the powers that be decide to implement certain restrictions, certain sanctions against the nation. So it means that you want to be an island on your own. So that is what I expect UN. And I will be happy if UN follows that, because without that, it becomes, UN will be a toothless bulldog. For some of us who we are opportune to do international law and international relations, you will see that the reason for UN, for creation of UN, is because of the failure of League of Nations after the First World War. Because the nations then saw that the League of Nations was not functional. They were not good enough to enforce the principles of the resolution. So that's why the Second World War and the First World War and the Second World War. So after that, they reorganized and they came up with the United Nations Organization, where nations, countries will be compelled to abide by the principles because of what happened between Hitler, the Germans, and the whole world.
All right, let's look at this story. I think it's almost in all the papers, but it's a banner headline in the National Star. Terrorists threatening to kidnap Buhari El-Rufai with a rider there, bandits torture abducted train passengers. We saw that one, Sajeri, coming up over the weekend where they're torturing these people and then videoing and sending. And this time, it came with a threat, they're going to kidnap your president and then the Kaduna State governor.
Will they do that?
Wouldn't they do that?
I say, would they do that?
You don't think they can?
So
who will stop them?
If,
Are you going to stop them?
If they can do that, that will be the 8 wonders of the world. But that will even make them know that the Hamatan is affecting the people, so that anybody can be in that situation. So what he points out to is that like we kept on saying that we are not safe. The country has degenerated security-wise, and we're only hoping and praying that we get things right in the next election, because they've lost, ideas how to, handle this thing, either because the government is, has, people that patronize these terrorists or headers and whatever. So, in my thinking, I think they've lost ideas.
Okay, let's join it with this other story that I saw from the Nigerian Tribune, where we can't bomb their hideouts. Jerry said they have lost ideas. Do you think presidency or the president or the Federal Republic of Nigeria has given in to terrorism, that they cannot handle this as a problem facing Nigeria?
Definitely, if we are to say the truth, the president has at one time that he is overwhelmed. The other time he said, that is the point. The second one, he said that he is eager to leave. And then why not resign? And there's no, I said the other time I came here that one would know what other things can you use to qualify incompetence. Because being a retired general who promised us heaven and earth that he's going to handle terrorism, and just as my colleague said, if you go through the social media, you see that some people are even rejoicing. Some people are saying, let that happen. Some people are even praying. That, and there are certain things, there are certain undertone this thing behind it. Because why did they target the president and Kaduna state governor? You see that some people are interpreting that there was a contract or certain things between why did they mention these two people? Why did they mention their names among the other people?
Oh, well, are you not seeing this as a ploy? Because was it somebody sometime last year was saying that what is seen about this insecurity thing is that it's somehow orchestrated, okay, planned. So some other person said, I think it was Ajugo or something, that said that with this level that these guys are going now, don't be surprised that one day we will wake up to see that they have taken over Aso Rock. So if they threaten to take your president and then the governor of Kaduna State, don't you think it may be a stage-managed thing that we have kidnapped them, so we have taken over government?
That's what I'm saying. If you go through the social media, see all these interpretations are given. Mm-hmm. People are saying it is a plot just for us to be like Afghanistan.
Okay, you're there. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. The next paper this morning is the Punch newspaper. Punch newspaper. Of course, virtually all the papers are carrying the same story. PDP. Okay, this one interview. We'll have a caller. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome.
My name is Martin.
Martins from
My
where?
name is Martin. Coming from Enugu.
Okay, Martins from Enugu. You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to comment on the security challenge. The kidnappers threatening to kidnap the president and everybody.
Go ahead, sir.
Do you know that in Kuje prison there was just taken to Kuje prison, and none of the bandits had been captured. Yes, the inmates, 400 of them have been captured. They have traced up to Ijabos and up to even to Korodu, but none of these terrorists have been captured. Why would they right? What they want to do? The problem is that our government refuses to do the next. We refuse to do the next. The card, when they're supposed to do something. Releasing a press statement does not solve the issue. It's time the government starts and takes the do and the horse. Anybody who wants the thing, the victory, that victory, I hate for the if my children are being poor, but no just, there's no community anything. Yes, the federal government is doing that. This is a challenge to the entire military force institution. This is a challenge to the ruling government and the power. They should rise and do something meaningful and recruit them to this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Martin, that call from Enugu. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, Punch newspaper, as we're going to look at the banner headline there. 1 hour interview, PDP challenges Tinubu again. APC says Asiwaju will floor Atiku. Okay, let's look at the riders there. Tinubu should subject himself to 1 hour interview. Atiku's camp insists. Atiku incapable of defeating anybody. He has nothing to offer. APC spokesman. This war of words, why your nation is going gradually. I don't know. We are busy preparing for elections and then the nation is slipping off our hands. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello? Okay. We'll move on. Outrageous terrorists flog train abductors, threaten Buhari, and a whole lot of other stories. Okay, let's look at this PDP's, Atiku's interview where he threatened that Tinubu has nothing to offer, that he can't even engage in a 1 hour, sit for a 1 hour interview. Jerry Obodo.
Yeah, well, they are the best of the same feathers.
Excuse me, Jerry.
Yes,
hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
I'm one of friend
From where?
from Umueju, Puma, Urumba North.
Okay, welcome, sir.
I want to contribute on the security of Nigeria. According to the whatever said, the bandits who kidnapped the people from the railway in Kaduna, Abuja, they are threatening to kidnap and kill our president. Yes. Somebody who is threatening to kill the president, that means they have the number, they have their number, they know them. How can they trace them? All the security agents in Nigeria, they are not doing the correct work. If they are doing the correct, if they are doing the work correctly, they're supposed to plan well how to get them. Now they have gotten the IGOD leader, how did they use that that's in media, that's the way, that's the means. If they use that to catch all those people who are planning to kill our president. Our president is precious, he's a human being. So please, let them use that tactics to get them, track them, and to stop all those killing in Nigeria.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Okay. You were saying
Yeah, I
something
was
about
saying that the two candidates of APC, PDP, they are best of the same feather. The recycled old folks, the aged, and all that, subject to moving into hospitals, the UK, Dubai, and all that. We are sick and tired of all that. We have moved on. All Nigerians want now, and the youth, for a younger, president who will be approachable and accessible to them, who will not be, going from one medical thought to another, and leaving the country to the detriment of the criminals and terrorists.
Sajari, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I can hear you. What's your name? And your...
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Go ahead, sir. George, go on. We can hear you. That's volume on your TV set. Put up the volume so that you can hear me very well. Okay.
So, IJ.
All right. Thank you, sir.
IJ,
Dalo
you know,
for
the last caller, you know, is on the same page with me. I have said that Nigerians right now needed a departure from this old brigade, recycled men that goes to the hospital abroad here and now and then, leaving the country at the mercy of economic woes,
Okay, 1 minute
terrorists
again.
and all that.
1 minute
We need.
Is anybody here? Hello? Go on, sir.
We need a younger, president,
Okay.
like what you have in Labour Party.
Okay, sir.
The youths are clamoring for a departure from the old order, status quo, to new order. Thank you very much.
Okay. The Nation newspaper is our next paper. You will come in. I know you want to come in, but let's join it with other stories so there will be time. Okay, The Nation is our next paper this morning, and the major story there says security on red alert over threats to Buhari and then El-Rufai. But another story that of interest there says Fayemi Fashola Muslim ticket is a winning strategy. Let's go to that as a former.
Okay. As everybody will always have a reason to give for any action you are taking. The other day I said one senator once warned a governor in this state, say, listen to the people. Even ordinarily, social justice demands that when you are coming up with, and you are even portraying yourself to be a self-centered person, you are just looking about your interest, how you can be president, how you can make it by all means.
But I said, politics is about interest.
And not, yes, politics is about interest, but politics, selfishness is not supposed to be the main organ of politics. About interest. Yeah. You will get
anchored on the people. Anchored on the people.
Anchored on the people.
Yes.
That is why we say that power. Otherwise, why are they claiming that?
Yeah, 1 minute, sir. Yeah, hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, this is Ejike calling from Aka.
Ejike, you're welcome.
Okay. Good morning. I want to speak on this issue of security and threats.
Go ahead.
I don't know why the state governors, all our state governors, have not used our Senate members and the House of Rep members to push for state police. I sincerely believe that if we can have state police in this country, it's going to go a long way to help in this security challenge. The state governors are the chief security officers of their states. They spend state money to maintain the security organizations, police, army, and all the security organizations. But they are not in charge of the security of their states. So I don't know why they cannot use their positions as governors to get this state police there. The senators are there, the House of Rep members come from states. The senators represent their states in the National Assembly. Let us do the right thing in this country for once and for all and get these things right. Other countries of the world have their departmental, state security, state police, and they help a lot. If we can have state police in Nigeria, it's going to stop all this nonsense we're talking about security.
Okay.
Thank you. Good
morning,
You're
my
welcome.
dear. Thank you. You were saying
So
something.
yes, to crown what I was
We are
saying.
almost out of time.
To crown what I was saying, if you watch, you see that this is what brought us to where we are today. Because even the current president was after that I will rule, otherwise blood will flow, this and that. When you have such people are not leaders, they are rulers. And to crown it, I know it is on record, the late Vice President Ekwueme was offered, because he formed PDP. When they took it to Obasanjo, he was offered to come and become the Senate president. He said that he was 46 years, When he became the vice president, the second citizen, now he's 66 years. He will come and be the third citizen. Instead, let me give chance to the younger generation. That is how you know people who are not selfish.
Have the interest of the
They
people
have
at
the
heart.
interest of the people.
Okay, before we run off, Daily Independent, banks steadily yielding digital banking space to fintechs. And then down here, how are you, Obaseki? Okay, PDP crisis. How are you, Obaseki Tambuwal worked against Wike's VP candidacy? Are we going back to that story? I think we have had enough of it. And then from the Daily Trust, finally this morning, how ransom blockade triggered hostage beating video. How ransom blockade triggered hostage beating video. I think that's all we'll have this morning in our newspaper review. Virtually all the papers are saying the same thing. But today we have concluded that we have serious problem in insecurity.
Very well.
Because for a handful of people, non-state actors to threaten to kidnap a whole president, a commander-in-chief of a big country like Nigeria, I think it's a big issue.
It's funny.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Ezo Foma. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We pray God that to help us that these expired brains will leave our country to.
That's too hard, sir. That's too hard, sir. And Sir Jerry Obodo, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. The crew, ABS crew, I thank you for having us here. And we pray and look up to a positive change in 2023, not the change of this government we have.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ijoma Uche. Do stand by for other programs coming on this page.
The environment is a life support system given by the Creator to mankind. Sometimes in the past, the three components of the environment, which includes air, soil, and water, were pure virgin, undisturbed, uncontaminated, and basically most hospitable. But the reverse is the case today because of progress in science, and technology is also leading to environmental degradation and serious ecological imbalance, which in the long run may prove disastrous for mankind. Progress in agriculture, industry, transportation and technology is usually the driving force of any economic development of any nation. Such activities of man has created adverse effects on all living organisms in the biosphere. Rapid industrialization has left with us polluted rivers, contaminated soil, depleted wildlife, and exhausted natural resources. As a result, the environment of today has become foul, contaminated, harmful for health of living organisms, including man. Some common types of environmental pollution have main health effects on humans. Adverse air quality can kill many organisms, including humans. Ozone pollution can cause respiratory disease, cardiovascular disease, throat inflammation, chest pain, and congestion. Water pollution causes approximately 14,000 deaths per day, mostly due to contamination of drinking water by untreated